Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our first heroic super guide for the adventure One Night in Karazhan, starting with the heroic super guide for Silverware Golem. This guy can spawn a lot of minions that have crazy synergy very quickly. So the biggest thing that we stack in all the decks is tons of AoE doing 1 and or 2 damage. Doing at least 1 damage is really important because obviously most of his minions are 1/1s that he's spawning out with his hero power. But they can get buffed a bit by some of his other cards. And, he'll have draws where just he quickly, you don't draw something good to do for the first 2 turns. He gets the thing that gives his minions charge and +3 attack and just, destroy you in no time whatsoever. There'll be the draws like that. You gotta wait for, that not to happen and use decks designed to just repeatedly do AoE damage, keep his board as clean and clear as possible, and allow you a little bit of time and respite to build up an advantage on board. Once you're substantially ahead, you're in very good shape. He doesn't have good board clears or anything. It's all just about surviving his initial waves, building up enough advantage that you can keep clearing out the new stuff he puts down. And then kill him from there. The Druid deck I used, again, employed the Innovate Astral Communion combo. You're pretty much mulliganing exclusively for those. Nowadays, since Innovate was nerfed, you'd replace those with Wild Growths. And then you're really looking for your abilities to do AoE. Your Primordial Drakes are amazing. Baron Geddon's amazing because it can keep clearing his board over and over again if it survives. Starfall's a good utility because it can do the 2 damage AoE, but it's also spot removal for his pitcher, his 5/5 that buffs something else. That's sort of the mid-range minion you'll need to be able to deal with as well. Abominations for more AoE, as are swipes. And other than that, Corrupted Seers even make it into the cut for this Astral deck because you just have to be able to do damage. Cthulhu, nice for helping clear up his board. One Tree of Life, because if you can survive the early game, you're definitely going to win the late game with your giant minions like Yasharaj, Tarantus, Deathwing, etc. But you might have taken a ton of damage early on and maybe at a low life total. So Tree of Life just lets you heal back up to full. Even if you heal him back up to full, you will win the long game. Nourish to draw more, Elixir is a nice way to get the board ready to be able to handle his next wave of 1/1s as well. Pretty simple stuff. Need a mulligan over and over again to get the quick Astral combo, and then get a little bit lucky that you draw tools like Primordial Drake that immediately clear his board and put a taunt in a way that can give you the breathing space you need to get ahead. The Hunter deck I built maybe went a little too crazy on board clears. I think every single card does some AoE. Tentacle of N'Zoth you can put down preemptively. Explosive Sheeps are pretty obvious. Explosive Trap does AoE. Grievous Bites, Mad Bombers you need to get a little lucky with. Mad Scientists are to pull the Explosive Trap because it's so important. Unstable Ghouls, Dread Scales, Power Shots, Unleash, all of these doing AoE damage. Unleash as long as he has minions on the board, which pretty much always will. Abomination, Explosive Shot, Corrupted Seer, etc. Savannah Highmane, I think literally the only card in this deck that is not intended, well, Mad Scientist pulls something. That does not directly pull something to deal with his board, but you need something to help you win at the end. All clear and no play make Illyria a something. Tempo Mage is what I used to beat him with at the time. I think I actually just went with a Tempo Mage that was current on ladder at the time and didn't need to tweak it that much. You need to get a little bit lucky, but the idea is, if you can get out quick Mana Worm, Arcane Missiles down whatever minions he has. Arcane Blast works really well with your Cult Sorcerer and your Azure Drake, your sources of spell power. You can quickly get ahead. If you get Sorcerer's Apprentices out, you can chain even more spells like Mirror Images to block him, as well as cheap Arcane Intellects to draw more. And once you get Flame Waker going as well, it'll help be basically helping clear out his 1/1s for relatively free while you play other spells. So the idea is to get that good start and snowball from there. You have the Kabbalah's Tomb to give you a bit of longevity, Flame Strike for sort of late game board clear, and Yogg-Saron as a Hail Mary at the end, given you're playing so many spells. Even with few Cthulhu buffing cards, Cthulhu is still a good inclusion because of the 6 sort of split up damage he does and putting a body on the board at the same time. So this deck I actually run no Cthulhu buffing cards and still put it in because of its value. Late game we have Ragnaros for healing, Tyrion to bring back with N'Zoth, Lay on Hands for healing. We're actually going to put 2 in to draw into more AoE tools while healing up. And then there's the ton of AoE, Primordial Drakes, Avenging Wraths, Abominations, Wild Pyro to combo with any spell is really good. Like Pyro plus Lay on Hands is a really good combination. Obviously you have the Pyro equality, complete reset if he does have some mid-rangey board that it's hard to do the damage you need to. Explosive Sheeps. And again, because you do take a lot of damage early on, Stand Against Darkness, by the way, is nice to just preempt that they will be able to trade into the 1/1s there, and we do have like few Stegodons to be able to buff those to help kill him if they're living and he's low on life. Double Forbidden Healing, because if you do take a lot of damage early but eventually stabilize, yeah, healing for like 20 or 18 or whatever can just totally put you in that safe spot where you can finish dealing with his board. You have Consecrations, Musters, etc. And get a N'Zoth out, which will bring back multiple taunts in the form of Tyrion and Abominations, and then be pretty safe from there. The Priest deck I built is looking to stall, and then you eventually get off your double Divine Spirit in a fire combo to punch him back for a whole bunch of damage at once. There's only 1 in a fire because you don't have a lot of room to save, given you need to keep clearing his board. So Northshire to help you draw into your AoE and your combo. Potion of Madness helps kill 2 of his things at once. You know, often his some of his scary minions, like the 2/2 that buffs everything with +3 attack, might be hiding behind plates with taunt. This way you can steal it and give yourself a way to kill it off. And obviously you can run 1/1s into each other. We do have obviously AoE in the form of Wild Pyro comboing with the spells here, Explosive Sheeps, Abominations again, Baron-Geddon and Primordial Drakes, Dragonfire Potions, Holy Novas, Light Bombs, tons of way to just destroy boards over and over and over again. Radial Elemental to help you play some of these spells for cheaper while you're trying to buff stuff and draw with your Power Word Shields. And 1 greater healing potion, again critical to be able to in 1 burst just do a ton of healing to kind of put you out of range and give you a little bit of space to find your combo and get a hit on board. Again with Rogue we have a bunch of AoE in the form of Explosive Sheep, Blade Flurry to combo with your weapon, just really important to be able to clear the board, Dark Iron Skulkers, Cthulhu, etc. Cthulhu we're going to have Blade of Cthulhu's to buff to be even bigger and do way more AoE damage when it comes out. There are those mid-range minions like the Pitchers that are good targets for this. Vilespine Slayers similarly can kill something bothering you outright. Can combo well with backstabs, counterfeit coins, etc. preparations. Doomsayers you can try get out on turn 2 and hope you're lucky and that he can't instantly kill it. Then the board's clear and you have a bit of breathing space to get out other things. There isn't space for gadgets on, even though you're have a lot of cheap spells. Shadow Strikes are important. It's again another way of dealing with the Pitchers if you need to, but your sort of win condition besides for clearing his board is to eventually get Questing Adventurers out that you buff and buff and buff as you play these cheap spells and AoE, and can start getting in face damage multiple turns in a row as it grows out of reach for him to actually be able to remove. Shaman is a hodgepodge of removal, evolution, devolution stuff, jade stuff, and even some elemental stuff. So we can only have space for 1 evolve, 1 doppelgangster. Usually you'd have doubles, but we need the space for other removal and AoE ability, that it's sort of just a one-off combo that you can eventually get to really lay your claim on having a very solid board to start pushing back on him. Devolves are very nice because it's another form of AoE essentially, even though it doesn't clear the board. Making all of it be minions that don't have this synergy is really valuable, because you won't suddenly be able to buff everything, you know, and give them charge to do like just huge burst damage out of nowhere. Jade package, we have Jade Claws, Jade Spirits, Jade Lightnings, Jade Chieftains for the Taunt, Aya, so we will develop some good value over the course of the game. Maelstrom Portals, more AoE. Healing Waves can heal you up for a ton. Nowadays you'd probably replace it with Healing Rain, because it's just guaranteed to heal you for 12 essentially without needing to do the Joust. Igneous Elemental I put in as a one-of because it gives you 2 elementals resulting from it. It essentially gives you 3 total activators, kind of like how I used to put in Firefly, to activate Kalimos, which can either do AoE damage if you need it, or heal you for a ton if you're low on life. Primordial Drakes, Baron, Geddon, the usual tools to just do more AoE, as are Volcanoes. Manatide Totem to draw, Lightning Storm for more AoE, and Reno Jackson. You do have a bunch of doubles, but if you draw, it's not a huge, it's fewer doubles than you usually have a deck, but enough that you need to draw a healthy amount through your deck for Reno to be activatable. But if you have kept a pace but just low on life, he can be that nail in the coffin at the end of the game that just heals you back to full, and from there you can use your board control to kill him. Warlock is AoE and demon heavy. Doomsayers, again, you're lucky if it can stick turn 2, but if it does, you're in good shape. Sergeant Sally, a good way to take out his minions. Hellfire, Spreading Madness even makes an appearance. Shadow Flames. Void Callers are great to bring out big things like Mal'Ganis, Jaraxxus, etc. Abyssal Enforcers for AoE, you would definitely put in Despicable Dreadlords nowadays, which I don't think existed when I built this deck. Antique Healbots to heal you back up. Dread Infernals do AoE. Reno, again, you're looking for that final heal towards the end. Mal'Ganis can just be very nice in making you immune, buying you a bunch of life, and even buffing demons if you did an implosion or something like that can be a big swing play. For Warrior, I again included Cthulhu. I did put in 2 Beckoners just to be able to buff them a little bit and give you some early plays. Again, you're trying to be lucky and land Doomsayers. You have Whirlwinds and Revengers. Sleep with the Fishers to combo with things to be able to help take out things like Pitchers. Acolyte of Pain to keep drawing. 1 Disciple of Cthulhu buffs your Cthulhu as well. Ravaging Ghouls, more AoE. Deathspite, Death Rattles, more AoE. Alley Armorsmith to buy you armor to help you stay alive. Brawls are obviously big AoE. You want to try Justicar earlier so you can be kind of armoring up every turn and helping you get back out of range. If your Cthulhu's buffed enough, you can get a bunch more armor from the Ancient Shield Bearers, is why we have enough to get it to 10 attack. Primordial Drake and Baron Geddon, the usual, and Growmesh can be comboed with Whirlwind or Revenge. Or a Deathspite Death Rattle to help you be able to do a bunch of burst damage to him towards the end when you need to kill him. And King Mosh again can be comboed with these things to clear his board completely and have a big threat out yourself. Now, in terms of beating him with basic and common cards only, it's far from easy. We are running a lot of things that do 1 damage AoE, pretty obviously. Tentacle of N'Zoths, Arcane Explosions, Unstable Ghouls make the cut, etc. Acolyte to draw more. And then your Twilight Flamecall is great as well. So you want to keep dealing with his stuff. Eventually get Mana Worms, Sorcerer's Apprentices out. Keep freezing his board when it gets to the point where you can't outright kill it with things like Flame Strike. Freeze it with that. Frost Novas as you keep pushing damage. Cold Wraith, I replaced I had a Spell Slinger for a while, but the enemy spell kept screwing me over. This is just a 3-mana 3/4 for board presence that in certain circumstances, if you can combo it with Frost Nova or Cone of Cold, will draw you a card as well, or Frost Bolt for that matter. So you're looking, plays a little bit like the common and basic card only deck against Giant Fin. You want to get some early threats out. Clear his board as much as you can. When it's unmanageable, freeze it if you can freeze it, so you just keep pushing face damage and eventually be able to finish him off with fireballs. It's not easy, but as you can see from the screenshot, we did manage to beat Silverware Golem in heroic mode with basic and common cards only. That's how we did it with every deck as well. Hope you have luck out there if you're still trying it. Good luck. See you next time.